solve this comicality. The interpretation of affirmatives must restrict the president's ability to conduct war. Restrict is to restrain. This is Merriam-Webster Online Dictionary in 9. To confine with monsters to restrain. And war powers authority is the power to successfully conduct war. This is Zingsberg. And 13 powers to the war powers to the convention to the war authority consists of the restitution of wars the war powers according to the Constitution standards and authority denotes its capacity to act is permissive. This is words and phrases and forward. The duty to distinguish between form of authority is completely denotes its obligations and composed to be with a law authority. Denotes its capacity in violation. The affirmative does not place the restriction on the ability of the president to conduct war. They transfer authority from the CIA to the DOD. Reasons for negative forces, predictable limits here are evident number of information requirements like distributing the attention or bending the use of reactors for drones. And 2 is ground presidential flexibility is that its core negative ground post hot. Transparency requires a leader as every president power on the table. And next, office criticism. It's always the well-meaning liberals, despite the affirmative's manufactured pill of dissent and criticism in the face of the ever-expanding drone war machine. Its procedural primacy is investigatory in origin. Yet they go to in order to conceal the specter that when it's by into a larger network revolution of neoliberal power reconfiguration and presents us test out of humanity, not in what the 1AC reveals about the reversibility of terrorism or the operational inefficiency or hell, even the practical illegality of the strikes themselves. But rather the emergence of the blind spots that naturally follow. It's all accumulating discursive movement, commissions, and commiseration with those we believe to have removed themselves from the human community. This receipt of the ancient services documentation is in every event with interlocking mechanics of exploitation in the person's game permanency. Hayes 13. Drone production and use systems around red and not the U.S. drones are kind of collecting in terms of the doing machine have adherence and recruitment to militant groups, signature striking. These systems from person to normative target striking with the identifying individuals who are tied to those who are possessions and aims to the circuit mission striking against the individuals rather than group that women remain voices of concern and dissent. The substance of UAVs help you with beyond legality and implementation of the discourse of visibility, normalizing the decision journalists with all politicians academics our work on the drone powers effectiveness and targeting terrorists and schools to target into the the inherent the ways that always already established system of transactional legal norms, the normalization of some of the exclusive other forms of other protests and dissent, the for understanding the circulation of drone warfare, relationship to rhetorical violence, the circulation of the culture of drone warfare throughout the United States drone, the U.S. drone program has generated a new set of everyday practices, institutions, subject and flow, through a larger network of power within the global war and terrorism program. Lots of subject positions appear on not from one place to while simultaneously possessing the powers of movie subject positions and available switches to drone. Program demonstrates materialist rhetoric and rhetorical bodies that leads its substance working outside the bounds of this binary, particularly in its assumptions and rhetoric, and violence are the criminal almost for the way they travel together, indistinguishable from one another. This strikes at the heart of the discursive modes about legality and perceptual articulation with the machine and community profits for the motives of the property rights are considered more important than people. The non-tribalist racism, militarism, and the economic exploitation and capacity are incapable of being conquered, and the one of the omits the obscure relational geographies of colonial violence inherent in the ongoing war and terror and indigenous non-populations. This performative gesture of whiteness simultaneously promotes the active forgetting of repetition of white supremacy, setting the stage for all states to enter terrorism, perpetual warfare, and uniquely humanist form of biopolitical racism threatening our life, nucleus of 13. The personal generational catastrophe predicted by the biopolitical separating out the human culture from the animal visible of us. We track that to form the colonial violence and shape the informative nation. The colonial violence is seen as operating in one inch or the international two categories through a concept of regional geographies housed under one control from the centuries of the international operation of the drones, the necessity drones of the attention to the past history rather than displacement of the Native Americans' relations and reason to the contemporary relations of violence exercised by the U.S. on the ongoing persecution of the indigenous Americans attempting to claim that the U.S. government was attempting to crush the Russians and show resistance by the political arsenal of state terrorism black word as much more than the rail sites that they connected to the black aircraft encrypted indications and classified carriers and probably create geographies to create places where the entity cannot be done without a community. The Pentagon's administration proposes to create a virtual drone war in a drone state that will further expedite the large tracts of Native American land, creating the largest joint forces future combat system training site. The probably draw lines connection between simply this separate temporal event or example the U.S. states genocidal history against Native Americans and the killing of civilians in places such as Iraq, Afghanistan, or Pakistan. The U.S. is built for the foundation of genocide, slavery, and racism situated. In this context, what becomes compared to the description of the 9/11 attack as the worst acts of terrorism perpetrated on U.S. soil is effective. The origin of this foundational history is the state constitution of terrorism against the Native American market, Native American, and this debate over war power structure over the war at home, white supremacy fuels white nation building that always focuses on the subjugation of the black body Rodriguez, and since the state constitution tells stories about self storytelling is separate from the everyday mobilization of the state, which is the struggle against the declared internal enemies that unlike the indigenous populations intends to localize for state violence for all, waste on our population from Puerto Ricans and Philippines and Mexicans, and even when you begin to see the massive release of the mass incarceration of black youth, enable to normalize white social storytelling, legal empowerment, the state protects the mobilization since one of racist state violence itself. Now, racial health is divided on behalf of the racially divided forms of the war on drugs, war on crime, war on gangs, war, illegal immigration, war on terror prevention warfare has become a common and system which utilizes modality of the U.S. state. This legitimized state violence seems to be mounted with a particular urgency in our historical moment, and the affirmative ignores the social political occasion governed by military metaphysics of violence, willfully forgetting the task of the intellectual, and rather to render violence visible, then reorganize the ongoing production of violence means we're going to control the internal link level to their role of the ballot in. The alternative is renounce the affirmative after the affirmation of the black counter gaze. We are the marking of violence, the whiteness making us which those that benefit from it, causing a self-critical self-reevaluation that is the key step to breaking down the hegemonic code whiteness has on America. We are the mirror on the wall. This is Yancey and 12. The black community where the species of privilege were thinking quickly about whiteness enables white citizens to become more conscious of God's spirit ways in which whiteness is on visibility. These processes which become less back to the middle which whiteness become more recognized with its manifestations important in trying to white citizens that by day on hard to work as a race they do not recognize the number of sides of whiteness in the market is not to expose whiteness and real remain place uninterrogated unbelievers for white. The market of white body gets ready to the white people see themselves be facing the diagonal borders every blood document their own numerous items of recorded this time or Americans be back to the different scripted from perspective of the concerns of those bodies colored as counted by people on a daily basis of society to remember we tell the truth with the white supposed black congregations black aces the way of engaging the world 44 from a perspective cultivated black people and others of color does not re-inscribe race essentialism. It is not meant to steal white people from white bodies and tell a question out there because there is no desire to fix white people. Look at white is an act of showing look at white points to what's been deemed invisible, unremarkable, normative. Look a white brings whiteness to the foreground. Look at white has become a shared perspective with a shared dynamic naming process bullshit from and bullshit and informed by insights regarding white the whiteness and black people and people of color have acquired. There are some who say look at white like analytics specificity, yet even the whites have been able to mobilize whiteness as a piece of property. Let's speak frankly. Look at white. Human rights.
Yeah, read the last card, the white narratives.
The what?
Universalist nature of human rights discourse.
Okay, and the universalist nature of human rights discourse is inherently racist. That turns the cases is the limit, and fighting human rights has become the way that is conceptualized and acting data is foundational to examine from the point of view of the social duty collective action, particularly within the realm of so-called progressive social movement politics. Racism emerged at the time of the unparalleled democracy in the history of Europe, and now the same in the history of modern anti-Semitism. Therefore, rather than being intrinsically opposed to them, it uses concepts such as universal humanism and the process of entrenching itself and hedge. Which part? Hedges over onto this shift in wealth and power this is lane, and so we intend with universal areas when so preceded by the American decline, the Great Recession has to do both, and has the high within the shift of global wealth and Harvard and East illustrated by China's rapid rise. The universal movement is over the distribution of power is no longer unipolar. The Great Recession has been vindicated, being decline again.
Read Richie, risk management blowback.
And the risk management on the causes blowback and fuels never-ending wars is Richie. And love the first we get a veteran that can comment the active defense of the rules-based system, but it's still that system of the West dominated institutions is not work. So we need to be vernacular system, the Western approaches to the enemy, your insecurity of that inadequate. And also the risk management, the complex security environment, generate significant blowback from unintended outcomes that create more risk. Margaret.
So that last card you read, the Richie 11 card, is specific. Richie's talking about new instances of U.S. intervention, like specifically the invasion of Afghanistan. Why is the affirmative a unique increase in that?
Well, you don't do anything to actually stop these invasions. You merely just redirect the way that we engage with.
Sure. So
that causes blowback.
Thanks. Wayne says that premonitions, that goes unhighlighted. Premonitions of American decline are happening. Why is Hedge dead now?
Why is Hedge dead now? Well, there's two warrants in this piece of evidence. It says that there are rising powers in the status quo, i.e. Russia, China, and that these rising powers have increasingly develop more forms of wealth accumulation, which puts U.S. on the back burner.
Okay, so Lane is saying that those things are premonitions of American decline. Does he make the claim anywhere that right now
I'm not understanding where you see premonitions where it's
I'm reading it from the second line in the card. Premonitions of American decline and geopolitical transformation. All right, well, we'll move on. Okay, on the critique, who does the reevaluating of the critical self-reflection?
Who does the critical self-evaluation? Those that benefit from whiteness.
Okay, so...
The black counter gaze is a way for that self-critical evaluation to happen in the first place.
Okay, how do you know if that's happening or not?
How do I know if that's happening or not? The very speech act of saying look at white causes it to happen. Because it allows for whites who don't view themselves as race beings to be like, whoa, wow, that just happened. You just called me white.
Okay, are there many
Look at white.
Okay, are there many people in the debate community who've never debated blackness?
What does that have to do with anything?
I think it's very relevant.
There are people who come into the debate community, never heard of whiteness. What does that have to do with anything?
Okay, thanks. So, alright. So, what would we do that would demonstrate that we were being critically self-reflective?
Okay, you could have done something in the 1AC, but even your self-reflection is not enough because you don't have the lived experience that is begotten from being at the pointing gun of whiteness. You
Okay.
can't have that lived experience to say, this is what racism is, this is what it's like to be a race body. You need mirror to reflect back to you the normative status of whiteness right now.
That makes sense, thanks. Should an affirmative contain mentions of every form of structural violence that exists?
We're not saying that you have to
Well,
talk about every form of structural violence. We are indicting that you merely skirt over the justifications of what makes your impacts happen in the first place.
Okay, thanks.
Carl?
Yes, please.